There's times you gotta accept the cards you're dealt. Learn to make the best of it.
Now that that's settled, did Miss Rucker have any other requests I could help with?
Well, not specifically asked, but...
Oh, go on, dear. You know I'm thrilled to help if I can.
Well, she did mention needing some help with something for the clinic.
Ah, I see. Certainly.
And Sophie's starting her donation drive today.
The lovely Miss Wagner's charitable efforts. Yes, I hadn't forgotten.
Oh, and Esme's got something going on in the kitchen she could use a hand with.
Well, I shall certainly see what I can do about that. I'm sure I can arrange some assistance in these matters.
Any naysayers.
Oh, well, hello, darling. A pleasure to meet another guest of our fine establishment. I am Orlando, your host and management liaison. If you'll pardon me for just one moment. That will be all. Please give my regards to Ms. Rucker. If you are here for leisure, I regret to inform you that our regular resort activities are temporarily unavailable. However, if you are here for the refuge and the fine work of the lovely responders, I am delighted to welcome you on their behalf. Are you really, dear? How marvelous! In that case, I'm sure you can't wait to get involved here. Yes, I believe the originals had been. Quite a tragic tale. Such a noble endeavor. Fortunately, their ideals and organization have been revived, and this refuge is their new home. If I may be totally honest with you, dear, I have heard others use the Responder's name as well, to be fair. But I think Appalachia could always use more people with such altruistic goals, so that's all right. I'm sure you agree. Ah, perhaps you have not heard. The White Spring is now home to the refuge, a place of safety and care for all in need. The refuge is being run by the Responders, individuals committed to the well-being of their fellows. They founded the refuge in response to new waves of refugees coming to Appalachia, people in great need of help. Food, medical care, clothing, a place to sleep. All of these are available for those who need them. Darling, I am entirely at your disposal. Darling, you must understand. A place like the White Spring had, indeed still has, very wealthy people behind it. As was always the case, the truly wealthy had advantages the common people, such as you and I, lack. As for the White Spring itself, the staff of top-of-the-line robotic servants, security, and maintenance allowed it to weather the worst. No, not by any prior arrangement. Perhaps you visited us before. I must apologize for the state you found it in, if so. Regular operation of the facilities had been stopped, of course, due to a lack of guests. Only the robotic staff remained. The Responders, believing it abandoned, took up residence, a completely understandable occurrence, of course. With new and worthy occupants, the management felt it wholly appropriate that it find a new purpose, and sent me. Until such time as the world needs leisure resorts again, the White Spring is happy to support the refuge. As I've said, I am the management liaison for the White Spring. I oversee the facility itself and its robotic staff. In addition, on behalf of the management, I arrange for the provision of certain material aid to the Responders. They still have substantial resources and generously offered to share them to support their noble efforts.
This wanton robot tried to give me a haircut before
Me?
running off.
Have I beguiled you already, dear? I appreciate the flattery, of course. You must allow me to retain some mystery for now, though. I wouldn't want you to lose interest. Perhaps we can talk more some other time. We both have more important matters at the moment, I'm sure. Of course, dear. Of course, dear. The owners of the White Spring itself. The resort, hotel, golf course, all of it. Very much still alive, I assure you, though regrettably unable to oversee affairs in current circumstances. As such, now that we have new guests, they have sent me in their stead to take care of things as needed. I couldn't be more pleased to do so. A delicious opportunity to be of help and meet fascinating people such as yourself. Anyone in need of help, yes. You appear more well off than our usual guests, though, if I may say so. Less bedraggled than those poor souls. Armed. The refuge exists primarily to serve those who cannot help themselves. The starving, the sick, the homeless. There is a clinic, a kitchen, beds, recreational facilities, all manner of care to be found here. I'm so pleased to be able to assist in my own small way, of course. What a wonderful thing for you to ask, darling. I knew there was something special about you from the moment I saw you. As it happens, the responders are looking for volunteers to assist them in a particular outreach effort. Those industrious wonders have repaired a vertibird to full working order and are using it to make contact with more distant settlements. They've made allies with people in Pittsburgh. The locals call it the Pit now, who seem to be in dire need of outside assistance. If you don't mind me saying so, you look like you can handle yourself. You might be just who they're looking for. Indeed, isn't that marvelous? They salvaged it and painstakingly repaired it. It's fully functional now. I was very pleased to be able to contribute to this effort in my own small way. If you wish to see it, it resides on the roof of the refuge between flights, along with its charming pilot, Miss Lennox. They call themselves the Union. Something of a resistance movement, I understand, against more aggressive forces. One of their representatives is currently staying with us, a Mr. Skippy Rorridge. Delightful man. Judging by what I've heard, it's an accurate one, sadly. Pittsburgh was bombed quite severely during the war. The poor individuals still living there have renamed it to better reflect its dreadful circumstances. Well, they'll be better able to explain the details, but I believe they're looking for fighters, actually. Their contacts in the pit are in something of a desperate situation, it seems, against a dangerous enemy. I hate the thought of you putting yourself in such danger, but it does appear to be for a good cause. Oh, you're terribly brave, aren't you, dear? Imagine if we all had such courage. Now, darling, before anybody bundles you off, the first thing you should do is introduce yourself to some of the responders. I just so happen to know a few in need of more local assistance, and helping them will earn you the other thing you'll need. That other thing being, of course, their trust. The vertibird does belong to them, after all. In an ideal world, darling, I'm sure they would. Sadly, this is not that world, and any reticence on their part is understandable. I don't want to speak for the responders, but I believe they may also see this as more for their Union friends than for themselves. Your assistance with their more immediate concerns will ensure everyone benefits. Isn't that a good outcome? My dear, you must understand, much as I would like to, my responsibilities do not permit me to do so. I am but a humble employee of the management. The vertibird is not the property of the White Spring itself, and is thus outside my purview. I hope you will not begrudge me my loyalty. I find myself quite fond of you already. Our lovely Ms. Rucker is the closest thing to a leader the refuge has, though I believe she's less than comfortable with the title. You can find her in their headquarters, beyond the dining area. The darling chef, Miss Rousseau, needs some assistance in the kitchen, I hear. And Ms. Wagner, over in the common area, is looking for donations. I'm sure your generosity will be well rewarded. Wonderful, my dear. I'm certain you will be a tremendous help to them and the refuge. When you are finished with each of them, I recommend you speak with Mr. Skippy Rorich, the pit union representative. I imagine he'll want to discuss the situation in the pit with you before you embark. Do feel free to visit me at your leisure if you wish to chat. I have an office in the management wing. You can't miss it.
Good afternoon. Lunch is now
Bonjour!
served.
My name is Esme Rousseau, but most people around here know me as Chef Esme. We've had some representatives from Foundation and Crater come here seeking assistance with the recent influx of refugees. I thought that we could help them out by providing some food for their people. I've started a pot of venison and potato stew, one of my newest creations. Would you be able to help me finish it? How wonderful! I can't wait to whip up something delicious for everyone! The stew requires potatoes, venison, salt, black pepper, and carrots. The ingredients can be found in our storage area. Your job is to grab the ingredients and put them in before the stew burns. Super! Let's have you start by stirring the stew, which will help keep it from burning. Remember to continuously stir during the cooking process. Fantastic! Let's get the first of the ingredients and prepare them. You're looking
Good
for carrots,
afternoon.
potatoes,
Lunch
and the
is
pièce
now
de
being
résistance,
served.
the venison.
Please have a seat.
My friends didn't want to join up with me. Said the responders sounded like too much work. I wonder what they're doing now.
Folks don't join the responders for cabs. They join to make a difference.
A dash of
No
this.
reservation.
A sprinkle of that.
required. Help
Perfection.
table.
I love it here.
Earlier, I only got attacked by Scorched once.
No mouth in Appalachia will go hungry with Chef Esme around. This is smelling delicious. Let's add more flavor.
I could really
with
use
some
a
salt
drink.
and pepper now.
But Rucker wants us sober on the job.
I wouldn't want to be Rucker. I never thought a single person could be spread so thin.
Please have a seat. Someone will be
Great
with you
work.
shortly.
Now that your stew is done, it is time to add your own special touch. A restorative element? How inspired! Delicious and useful. I am sure whoever you choose to give it to will be very appreciative. Here is your finished stew. Now, it is time to feed some of the hungry. I believe you can find the raider and settler representatives in the bar area. You must make a choice, since there is not enough to feed everyone, I'm afraid. I'll do my best to gather more ingredients so that we can cook again another time.
The work I do is extremely rewarding, but
We
boy,
aim
is
to
it
provide
tiring.
a safe, clean environment for all
Are you at the refuge? We've got people going hungry, and too many mouths to feed at Foundation. A stew that can both feed and heal our wounded? Amazing, thank you!
I love Esme's cooking. It's been so long since I've had food with actual flavor.
Well, hello there, stranger. Pleased to meet you. I'm Sophie Wagner. Look around. The refuge. Quite a place, isn't it? I mean, sure, fancy pants golf club resort, that's nice, but I'm talking about the refuge. A haven for the lost, the dispossessed, the hungry, and unfortunate. A monument to our ability to have compassion for each other. Isn't it grand? Isn't it worth preserving, building, growing? Sort of. Well, I haven't seen you around before, so, glad to have you. But I wasn't trying to recruit you anyway. I'm actually more in the material support end of things. Scouting for volunteers isn't really my department.
There's times I worry I'm not doing enough or that I'm not good enough.
Yes, exactly. You understand, I can tell. A future filled with people supporting each other, regardless of background or history. It's always good to meet someone who can see the big picture. Now, how'd you like to be a part of it? Now that's what I'm talking about. People supporting each other. You got the right spirit. Rucker's put me in charge of running a bit of a donation drive. Have you met Rucker? She's amazing, you should. Anyway, it might surprise you to know an operation like this is always churning through supplies. We work hard to keep things in stock, and that funny Orlando character does their best to help out as well, but well, we still have shortfalls. So here I am, asking generous folks such as yourself to help us fill in those gaps and keep the refuge running. Oh yeah, I guess I am. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Why shouldn't I be? We're living in the aftermath of the apocalypse. But here we all are in a place filled with people dedicated to helping each other. You ask me, That means we're pretty dang lucky, right? A lot to be excited about. Happy, even. Let me check my notes. We always need molded plastic. You can never have too much of it, and I gotta be honest, we don't have enough. I'd love it if you could help us with, 50 pieces? We could do a surprising amount of good for a surprising amount of people. A lot of toys were plastic. They're always good. Some containers, like for cleaning supplies. Old food trays were often made from it too, if you find any. That's okay. Who just carries that around in their pockets or whatever, right? I'll be here all day, though. If you want to come back, bring it by later. If you can, of course. You know where to find me. It'd really make my day if you did.
Just trying to get through another day. Only 12.
Always make sure to boil your water before you drink it. Sorry I'm not much for conversation. Listen, talk to my hero.
Considering all of the places I could have ended up, I'm extremely lucky I'm here. I've never felt safer.
Well, seems like timing is one of your strong suits. Look, I can stitch up a gash with the best of them. But Appalachia, well, she can do a lot worse than cut us open. Got a lot of folks here with sickness we don't understand, and injuries we don't know how to treat. What we need more than anything is know-how. So I propose we trade. What I got that I don't need, for what you need that you don't got. I've heard you're looking ahead into the pit, and the only safe way out of Appalachia is that metal bird Lennox has perched up on the roof. She don't fly without my approval, and right now, you ain't got it. So, that's the deal. You bring back medical information that'll help me figure out how to help these folks. And I'll okay your little expedition.
Never thought a single person could be spread so...
AVR Medical Center down in Charleston should have what we're looking for. Can the responders count on you? Word is, there's a lot of pre-war patient records still inside AVR. And if we can get our hands on even a few of them, we'll learn a great deal about how they used to take care of folks. And that'll help us do a better job today. So talk to me. You in? Nice. Well, let's get to it then. Anything you're able to find, go ahead and bring it back to our lead medic. I'll let her know to look for you.
Check in with the medics if
Good
you're
luck
feeling
out
under
there.
the weather.
It's been sunny all week.
got some spare supplies burning a hole in your pocket? Glad to see you've returned. Are you ready to donate? You do? Amazing. Thank you so much. This is going to be a big help. It just so happens I got a little something for you as a reward for your generosity. We might need a lot of things, but you know how it is. Poor in one way, rich in another. I'll put together some of what we can spare for you. And I've got a feeling you're gonna need them. See? Mutual aid. Everybody wins. Thanks so much for the help. Drop by again. If I know Rucker, I'll be looking for something new every day. Take care of yourself.
Rucker said to be looking for you. Hope you got some good news about those patient records. These records are going to save so many lives. You've done the responders a great service, and now it's our turn to get to work.
Why even
Hang around
bother?
those raiders.
Can't help
Don't let them
themselves. Where on earth did I put that sparking electrolyte?
Hey there. Don't think we met. I'm Skippy Rorich. Something I or the Union can do for you? The Union is a sort of a... I guess you might call us a confederation, or a resistance. People banding together for defense. See, there's a group in the pit. Calls themselves fanatics. All they care about is conquest. They want the whole pit for themselves. They roll into your area. You either join them, they force you to labor for them, or they kill you. And they're coming for everybody. The Union's the only thing standing between them and their total conquest of the pit. As much as we're able, anyway. That's right, looking for someone to help us take the fight to the fanatics. Surprised we got a taker, actually. You are interested, right? Hell, you've got raider gangs here, right? I've heard about your Blood Eagles. The fanatics are something like them, but more organized. Imagine every single raider gang you've ever heard got together and decided to make like Genghis Khan. Sweep over everything. Kill anyone who won't join, and put anyone too weak to fight into forced labor camps. Everything that's not theirs they take. That's the fanatics. And be glad they're not here. Bad. Don't get me wrong, it's home, and I want us to keep it. But we got hit bad in the war, and we've never recovered. Lots of radiation. Some areas are badly toxic, with all the junk that got blasted into the air or spread around from the factories. People are sick a lot, from one thing or another, and food can be hard to come by. Hell, some of the city's still on fire, I think. But some of the factories survived, and we got them running. Gives us access to things you can't get anywhere else. Might even be able to rebuild, if it weren't for the fanatics. Because it's home, damn it. Mine, ours, all of us who were born and lived there before and after the bombs. Ain't that enough? If the fanatics are out of the picture, we can rebuild. Make something out of it again. It doesn't have to stay like it is. If that ain't enough for you, picture this. A horde of fanatics, hundreds, thousands strong, setting their sights here. Sound like something you want? The Union's back's against the wall. We're doing our best to hold off the fanatics. Keep them from taking everything. Occasionally, we win some small victories, but not a lot. Got a couple of situations back there right now where an extra hand might tip things in our favor, at least for now. I don't want to call it mercenary work, but I'm not gonna lie. You'll be going there to fight. Fantastic. Let me just get Rucker in here. It's her bird, after all. Thanks for coming by, Rucker. Looks like we got a volunteer to take a trip out to the pit.
We've met. Had a feeling you might be up for this when you came by earlier. Guess I was right.
Figured you should be involved, if we're gonna borrow your plane.
Don't let Lennox hear you call it a plane. She takes it personally. Anyway, sure thing. You've done right by me. So you got the okay for me. Sophie and Esme tell me you helped them out too. So as far as the responders are concerned, you're good to go.
Well, we got 2 different locals I know are in need of help. Locals are what we call union groups that act independently. Local 42's in the industrial district. Hex, their leader, is struggling to keep her people alive and retake a foundry from the fanatics. We got another over in the trench working against a fanatic forced labor camp. Danilo is your contact there. Haven't heard from the other locals recently, but I'm sure we'll be hearing from them if they got trouble too. It's up to you who you want to help right now. Maybe you'll consider going back again later for the other. Fair enough. What do you want to know? Well,
Well, I can answer that, Skippy. First of all, we've got refugees here from the pit. People who've made it all the way down on foot or in caravans. And the best way to help that situation is to help people not need to flee the pit in the first place. Second, the Union's the best chance of stability the pit's got. The responders don't just want to triage in the world. We want to help it rebuild one day. We'll need allies to do that.
it doesn't hurt that we've got factories that can still make manufactured goods either.
No, it does not.
I prefer volunteers to suckers. I'm not running some kind of scam here.
The answer is no, by the way. We run some regular sorties, trade some supplies, carry messages. Our radios don't reach that far, so communication's either us or waiting for caravans.
All right. All set? Got everything? Great. This means a lot to the Union. I'll make sure you're well rewarded for it. I might have some other things I need help with here in Appalachia, too. I'll let you know. Good luck up there. We're counting on you.
Been a long time coming, but the responders are back. For good this time.
Sure hope this mole rat bite doesn't get infected.